Fox News alert. Breaking moments ago. The DA in Napa County, California, charged Paul Pelosi, Nancy Pelosi's husband, with DUI. This after weeks of pressure from you, primetime viewers. According to the press release, Pelosi will face a misdemeanor charge, not a felony. Surprise, surprise. The release added that he had his blood taken and he had his blood alcohol at over 0.80, 0.82. So, if convicted, he faces up to 5 years probation and a minimum of 5 days in jail. Other than that, it doesn't offer many new details about the crash or what exactly happened that night. For that, we have the New York Times, believe it or not. Now, like most people, you may have missed the fashion section of the New York Times today. We don't blame you. But if you skim past the editorials on Elvis breaking fashion boundaries and avatars wearing Prada, you'd find a very important story buried right near the bottom. A story that contains many shocking new details about Nancy Pelosi's husband's DUI arrest. Now, you may be wondering, what's so fashionable about drunk driving? How did that end up in the fashion section? I guess if you're going to smash up your Porsche, you got to do it in style, like Paulie P. We can assure the Times it wasn't the fashion police who arrested Paul Pelosi, even though for an 82-year-old he looks pretty good, especially after totaling his sports car. Got the sports code. It seems like this article was spoon-fed to the Times by Pelosi's cleanup team to make Paulie look like a victim. That's right. And I use the term Pelosi's team very loosely because we're not really sure Nancy is on board with what happened that night. More on that later. The Times refers to Paul Pelosi as a, quote, swaggering presence in Napa, well-dressed with a full head of salt and pepper hair. With high society connections to the Newsom family and Getty tycoons. They quoted friends in Napa who said Papa Paulie is nothing more than just a social drinker, of course. And it would be harsh, quote unquote, to put him in jail because in Napa, quote, drunk driving was always met with understanding rather than criminal charges. But that's not all. We're just getting started. Buried between the paragraphs about Paulie's sleek salt and pepper hair and Nancy's favorite nail salon, there are some shocking details about what really happened that night, things we haven't heard before, and things that only make this night seem more suspicious. For example, according to the Times, there was a witness at the scene of the collision, a witness. Funny because we asked for witness statements and they told us to take a hike. So who is this witness? Just standing on the side of the road in the middle of the night, in the middle of nowhere? There's no bus stops in wine country. So if you ask Primetime, this sounds a little fishy. So we have to ask, was the witness in the car with Paul? We know Nancy was out of town that night, and reports suggest Paulie P's always had a little bit of a wandering eye. Was it hanky-panky that caused the collision? We don't know. When we spoke to the cops, they refused to say if there was a passenger in the car. They can't confirm or deny it. Very interesting. Another interesting tidbit, according to the Times, both cars were totaled. Totaled. For weeks, we've been led to believe this was just like your everyday little fender bender. We'll say it again. Both cars were totaled. The mystery witness also told the Times Pelosi stayed in his car after the accident. He wouldn't get out. Instead of getting out, like, most people do when they get into a car accident, Pelosi froze. He was motionless. It took him several minutes to move. Why did it take him so long to get out of the car? What was he doing in the car that whole time? New York Times also claims a local sheriff was actually the first person to arrive on the scene, not California Highway Patrol. This is the first time we're hearing about a sheriff. So Primetime called him. They told us he was just cruising by when he saw the crash, stopped to check in on everybody, and then left the scene since it wasn't his jurisdiction. Does that sound like something a sheriff would do? When two cars get totaled in the middle of the night on a secluded highway, you just drive by. Everybody okay? Oh, okay. This isn't my jurisdiction. I'm out of here. What? We asked the sheriff if there was a passenger in the car with Papa P, and believe it or not, he told us he knew the answer to that question, but he couldn't tell us because he was being muzzled by Napa County District Attorney Allison Haley. Hey, Allie. She's the one withholding information from the public. She's Newsom's girl, who, by the way, the Times points out, has some family ties to the Pelosi's. You guys ready for a fun fact from the Pelosi family tree? Paul's brother was married to the aunt of Gavin Newsom. Just wanted to put that out there. Newsom puts in Allie. The whole thing's family. And in that New York Times piece, they also mentioned firefighters showed up soon after. Why is this the first time we're hearing about firefighters showing up? Maybe because no one released a police report yet. Nothing is by the book here. Was a report filed by the fire department? Is there footage of the firefighters at the scene? Do they have a dash cam in the engine? Did they have to pull a motionless Pelosi out of his wrecked Porsche? Primetime wants the truth, so we also contacted Napa's fire department with these very questions and requested all their documents and available footage. No surprise we haven't heard back yet. It's almost like Hunter Biden smashed up his Porsche. Because have you ever seen so many people come together and cover up something that happened? Fancy Nancy wants this bottled up. The Times actually mentioning Mrs. Speaker of the House swung into full crisis mode as soon as she found out about the accident. She assembled a pricey defense team, hiring a crisis manager, a defense lawyer, and a PR exec. But Nancy can afford it. You know, Paul's been timing the market for decades thanks to their pillow talk. Their crisis manager is Larry Kamer. He's the guy that told us, quote, "So far as I know, there's no mugshot." That was obviously a lie after pressure from all of you guys. The DA was forced to release the mugshot just days later. So either Nancy's paying him a lot to lie, or he's just really an expensive idiot. We report, you decide. She's also paying them to bury Papa P's troubled driving record. This isn't the first Pelosi accident. When he was 16, a young Paulie P flipped over his sports car on a tight highway curve, tragically killing his brother, who was in the car with him at the time. And years later, he and Nancy were on their way to a fundraiser with their children when their car flipped on its side. Luckily, nobody was injured. And of course, Nancy was never one to turn down money, so she stuck her thumb out and hitchhiked to the fundraiser. We never found out who was driving the car that day. We expect there probably was a little bit of a cover-up back then, too. Pelosi supposedly wants her PR goons to keep us from knowing Papa P's record. The New York Times, in their puff piece, was already taking the bait, blaming Paulie's most recent accident. You ready? On his recent cataract surgery. So Paul Pelosi couldn't see, and he was drunk. I'm not sure how that makes the story much better, but I think they think that helps their defense. Sounds like Paul Pelosi is the most dangerous man on wheels. And for the sake of California public safety, might want to start Ubering back from dinner parties when his wife is on the opposite side of the continent. But when you have liberal privilege, you can dance around insider trading, smash up sports cars, and get the New York Times to write a puff piece about how salt and peppery your gorgeous hair is. This explains why we haven't seen the dash cam and the body cam footage from that night. California Highway Patrol has it. They told us they have it. And they say the DA won't let them release it. And the DA is telling us a different story, but we're not going to get jerked around. That's why our attorney has served both sides with papers demanding the release of all the footage, along with an explanation. The burden legally is on them, not us. All we're asking for is transparency, plain and simple. But if they don't respond to us by Monday, we'll be taking them to court.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.